The company's annual gala buzzed with chatter, laughter, and the soft clinking of glasses. The chandeliers cast a golden glow over the ballroom, and Elise looked stunning in her deep blue dress, her smile lighting up every corner of the room. I couldn't help but feel proud. She was more than my wife. She was my anchor, the person who made all the long hours and boardroom battles worthwhile. As the band shifted into a slow tune, I was about to ask her to dance when James, my colleague with more charm and sense, approached with his usual grin. "Mind if I borrow her for a dance?" he asked, already holding out his hand. Elise looked at me for a beat, amused. I gave a nod, thinking it harmless. They moved gracefully, her laughter ringing softly as he twirled her. I stood by the bar, drink in hand, watching them. A pinch of jealousy stirred somewhere deep inside, but I brushed it off. Then I noticed how his hand lingered too low on her back, how his mouth drew too close to her ear. My jaw tightened, but I stayed put. It was just a dance. When the song ended, Elise returned, her cheeks flushed but her smile a little forced. "He's quite the dancer," she said lightly. But something flickered behind her eyes, unease, maybe. Before I could ask, James strolled up again, clapping me hard on the shoulder. "You're a lucky guy, David. She's incredible," he said loudly enough for nearby guests to hear. Then, with a smirk, he added, "Bet she'd be even more fun if you weren't holding her back." The words hit like a physical blow. Conversations around us fell silent. Elisa's hand tense in mine. My pulse roared in my ears as I stepped forward. "What did you just say?" My voice was low but sharp. James chuckled, lifting his glass. "Relax, man, it's a joke." But there was no mistaking the smugness in his tone. Elise tugged gently at my arm, whispering, "David, don't." I wanted to hit him, to wipe that grin off his face, but I knew it would only make things worse. So I swallowed the anger burning in my throat and turned to her instead. "Let's go." We left the ballroom in silence. Outside, the cool night air met the heat of my frustration. Elise finally spoke, her voice calm but weary. "He was wrong, but you almost lost control." "I know," I said quietly. "It wasn't the dance. It was a disrespect toward you, toward us." She nodded, but her eyes stayed distant, haunted by the moment. At home, we sat in the quiet living room, the sparkle of the evening replaced by something heavier. "He made me feel like an object," she said softly, "like something to be shown off." Guilt stabbed at me. I should have stepped in sooner, before it got that far. I took her hand. "I'll deal with it." The next day, I met James in a small conference room. "You crossed the line last night," I told him, my tone steady. "Don't ever talk about my wife like that again." His smirk faltered. "You're overreacting," he muttered. But I didn't let him off the hook until he mumbled a forced apology. That incident stayed with us. For days afterward, Elise and I talked, really talked, for the first time in months, about respect, about how work had started taking too much of our time and attention. James's words had been cruel, but they revealed how distant we'd become without even realizing it. We started rebuilding in quiet ways. Friday night dinners turned into sacred time. We went on walks again, no phones, no work talk. The gossip at the office faded quickly, but my perspective didn't. I requested a project change to avoid James altogether. Elise stopped coming to corporate events, and I didn't argue. She deserved peace, not pretense. We found our own version of the dance floor at home, slow dancing in our kitchen to old vinyl records, laughing when I stepped on her toes. The memory of that gala became less about humiliation and more about growth. It forced us to see what really mattered. When the next gala came around, we went, but we didn't dance. We stood together by the bar, talking, laughing, entirely in our own world. James was there too, but he stayed far away. His presence no longer mattered. That night no longer felt like a wound. It became a story we told with a knowing smile, a reminder that sometimes the words meant to break, you only end up strengthening what truly holds you together. We danced again, just not on the ballroom floor. It was our own quiet rhythm, one no one else could touch.